humanity's last hope.
It's no doubt that Valorant is getting bigger and bigger, and with episode 2 coming up, there is actually a lot of secrets not yet explained in Valorant. Valorant is still a pretty fresh and early game, and we don't have actually a lot of info on it. Today we're going to be looking at 5 top lore secrets in Valorant. Moving on, number 5 on my list definitely has to be Omen and Viper origin. We all know that Omen and Viper are connected somehow, but no one actually knows in what way. More importantly, what happened to Viper and Omen to start working for Kingdom, and secondly, how did Omen actually become Omen? It's pretty apparent that he has worked with Sage or does know Sage and Viper somehow in the past, Viper being a scientist in the Icebox, but Omen has a lot of mystery behind we need to find out in Season 2.
Don't die here, Sabine. I need your secrets, Sabine. Look at the monsters we've become. At least you have flesh to hide your horror. There is another of me. How many times did I get ripped apart? How many times did I die?
Next question is, will Jet ever revive Phoenix?
Jet, come on, Jet, revive me!
More importantly, are we gonna be seeing any of the new characters' origins, especially older characters as well, such as Jet and Raze, potentially have a very good backstory that is not provided just yet. If we could see that for every different agent, such as seeing Cypher, what he looked like, before having his mask, possibly seeing Jet in South Korea and what she was doing at that time, and also seeing Raze and how she lived before that. Everything changed for these now agents, but before, no one actually knows what happened. We have no explanation of the events by Riot or anything like that, so hopefully in 2021 and 2022 they could actually start focusing more on the lore of the story. Speaking about agents, what about Cypher and his affiliation with Kingdom? Why does he actually hate Kingdom so much that, he actually potentially spreads the graphs on and propaganda for Kingdom itself? Why is Kingdom so evil? What do they want? What plans do they have? All of this is left unanswered in episode 1. What we briefly got about Kingdom is that it's an organization that wants and harnesses the power of Radianite and potentially even makes their own agents. But we don't get much more than that. We just have a simple few words about this unknown huge company, just like, Amazon is. We don't know anything about it. And why are these agents trying to take back the Radianite? Why is it so harmful? Why does it give superpowers? So many questions unanswered. Speaking about unanswered questions, why the heck and how does Radiant actually spread, or Radianite for that example? Radianite has huge powers that spreads to a few people over the world that obtains them either superpowers like Jet, or grants them capabilities to actually build turrets, traps, stuff like that with powers, basically Killjoy and Omen, and that's absolutely insane. How do they get these powers? This is still a complete mystery. Another huge question I have in my mind is the Tahm Kench on the bench. Is it just an Easter egg, or are we gonna see more future crossovers? Riot has mentioned we're not gonna be seeing anything in terms of crossovers like League of Legends skins in Valorant, but what if they change their mind? I think that's definitely possible. In terms of lore, it's not consistent, but will we get some new skins? Maybe, even a character, or most possibly not, but anyone can dream. Tahm Kench offers more than just a few questions. Now, my most favorite one has to be the Memento Mori. We're possibly gonna be finding more about it in the next 2 months, but I'm more interested what the actual Icebox ship and Out of the Bounds map means. This is such a huge ship that provides a lot of lore and speculation, people do not even consider. These maps are simply too beautiful, and I think Icebox deserves a bit more context. Another question I have is, are we gonna see more interactions between the agents? I just love Jet versus Jet interactions, however I don't see any much more deeper context than that, sadly. If we could see something, between Raze and Jet, and maybe potentially even some lore and background behind this, that would be amazing. Seeing, how the rivalry start to form between Jet versus Jet is just so satisfying. Jet getting a kill onto the enemy Jet actually produces competitive play and, makes someone rewarded for killing the other player. Hopefully we can see something, for Jet and Sage as well, and not just for someone who is completely directed. And I know we see some of these already, but just not in the amount I was expecting. But that doesn't mean we're not gonna see these things. We're potentially gonna be seeing them, and a lot more in 2021, because seeing what Valorant did this year in episode 1, episode 2 might feature a lot of more potential things. One thing I'm really considering is how these characters spend their daily lives together. Like, how is that possible? How does Omen practice their teleporting while Raze is throwing grenades in the room? It would definitely be interesting to see if we got a comic like in Overwatch, where it basically depicts how it goes without fighting, or how it basically, what they're actually doing. And we did get some closure with duelists, but more or less it was not that much of a lore. It was more of presenting what the duelists do. What if we get like Sentinels trailer as well, so maybe Cypher and Bind? And there's so many possibilities we could actually end up seeing for episode 2. Now the final question goes on: who is this samurai? This samurai is probably the most talked thing in Valorant right now, and I definitely have hopes that this samurai will be tied to the new agent. And it has been unfrozen from the ship from what I've seen, but we don't have any info on it. We just have a memento mori, which, the new agent will most likely